He came to the top of Montmartre to have one good look at Paris, a city still shaken by deadly terrorist attacks, and to say goodbye. The bloodshed of last November has prompted MATTHIEU to make a drastic decision.
I thought about my children and my grandchildren, and I said to myself, I don't want to see them brought to their knees by a handful of people.
To protect them, MATTHIEU decided to leave for Iraq, to join the Kurdish Peshmerga and fight the Islamic State group.
I'm going to devote myself to this cause and stay on course until the end.
In the north of Iraq, at the foot of the Sinjar Mountains near the Syrian border, some other French nationals are already at the front line. Here, the Peshmerga have blocked an important road linking an Islamic State-controlled area to Mosul. 28-year-old Francois joined the fighters 2 months ago.
Over there, the houses that have been demolished are used by Islamic State militants. There are snipers and rocket launchers hiding in those buildings. One day they take a position there, the next day they move 500 meters further away, they fire and then they run away. So it's very important to keep watch.
11 French fighters have joined this battalion. All of them bought their own equipment. The Peshmerga have no shortage of soldiers. What they want most are weapons.
This is a French vehicle. It's very efficient for protecting us, for example, from suicide bombs. But the problem is we've used up almost all our ammunition.
Freshly arrived from France, MATTHIEU goes to sign up with the Peshmerga forces. He meets a top general to explain his motivations.
We've had some foreigners whose motives were not very clear, so our recruitment policy has changed.
It seems the Peshmerga aren't prepared to take just anyone.
Without agreement by France, we allow no one to take part in the battle, and in any case, we always run background checks.
At a nearby camp, 3 French volunteers train Kurdish soldiers.
Okay, don't use your hand.
They're members of the Lafayette Task Force. Named after a real army contingent that fought in Afghanistan, the group was set up by former soldiers who tried to give the same combat training as the French army.
They didn't do this kind of exercise. That's why we set up this training camp.
All 3 French veterans are under 26. The Kurds trained by them are just as young.
We told them it was crazy to give up a comfortable life in France to come here, a country in war. But they said they simply wanted to help us in our battle.
Back at the front line in Sinjar, another French combatant, MICKAEL, a former Marine trooper, is starting his 7th month with the Kurds. He has already taken part in some operations and is now waiting for the launch of a major offensive to retake Mosul. He knows that one day he could come face to face with a jihadist from his own country.
When we are in a battle, we don't really have time to look at the enemy's faces. But yes, it would give us extra satisfaction if we managed to bring down a French jihadist. They are scum.
On social networks, many in France talk about wanting to join the Peshmerga. But only around 20 or so volunteers have actually been accepted to fight on the ground. In Erbil, the capital of Iraqi Kurdistan, MATTHIEU still hasn't heard back from Peshmerga recruiters. He's waited 10 days and has now decided to go back to France.